These are my first impressions of the DJI Action 5 camera that I've just bought. And I had to buy one because the GoPro 9 that has caused me immense grief ever since I've owned it has finally died. The internal microphone is not good. You need to use an external microphone. And the only way to connect it is by using an adapter, which I haven't got, or the media mod. And my media mod has broken. The little piece of rubber that operates the off switch has split. And I can't just replace that cheap piece of rubber. I've got to buy a complete new media mod. And I'm not going to do that. This camera has caused me so much grief. I'm not going to spend another penny. It's just going in the bin. Now, with regard to what to buy next, I like DJI from all the things I've seen online and what I've read. And I like the look of the Osmo Pocket 3, but one problem is availability. You know, they're just very difficult to get. And although I love the idea of a mechanical gimbal as opposed to electronic image stabilization, I'm not sure how robust it is. It looks a bit delicate and it might break quite easily. So I started looking at the Action 4, and when I did, I started seeing a lot of rumours that the Action 5 was about to come along, so I thought I'd wait a bit. And sure enough, this one arrived on the 19th, and I bought it on the 21st. One of the main differences to the GoPro is that when I took it out of the box, it worked. The GoPro, because of the touchscreen issue, the non-responsive touchscreen issue that it had when I bought it, was very difficult to use. And it took GoPro 9 months after the camera was released to fix that touchscreen issue, which is disgusting. Once that had been fixed, I started getting the camera freezing and the SD card errors, and that problem took GoPro 18 months to fix. So I'm just totally unimpressed with GoPro. On the other hand, the DJI has been perfect, and I've, in the short space of time that I've been using it, which isn't very long, I only made a couple of videos, it's been really good. I'm not really into video technology, but the image quality I've seen so far looks to be good, and DJI claim that the low light capabilities are very good. There's actually a special mode for shooting video at night. It's claimed that the camera has a dynamic range of 13.5 stops. So what that means is if you're shooting scenes where there's very bright areas and very dark areas, they're all recorded well without the bright areas being blown out. Regarding color, there are various options depending on how much color grading you're going to be doing in editing. It will shoot up to 4K. I don't intend doing any more than 1080p. Most people, about 70% of people on YouTube, use their mobile phones to watch videos, so I can't see the point of obsessing over 4K. 1080 is enough for me. The image stabilization looks very good. There's horizon leveling. And on this one, there's also a feature where it will track a subject and keep the subject in the middle of the screen. I'm not sure how that works without a movable gimbal, but that's a new feature on this particular model. So the specs all look very good. The camera has 47 gig of built-in storage. So I would normally use an SD card, but there have been occasions where I've taken out the SD card to put in my computer to transfer files, and then forgotten to put it back in the camera, and then taken the camera out. So if you do that, you can just switch to the internal SD storage. So that's a very useful feature. It will also measure altitude and depth. So if you're a mountaineer or parachutist, whatever, and you're going up high, you can see the altitude. And about 30 years ago, I was a scuba diver. I've long since given up. But if you're scuba diving, this is waterproof down to 20 meters without a case. It records the depth. And apparently there are special algorithms to make the images underwater look normal. Many years ago, I had the first Sony digital camera, the DSC P1, and I had an underwater case, and when I took it scuba diving, I needed to use a special orange filter to make the colours look normal, but you don't if you use this while you're scuba diving. I bought the Adventure Combo, which comes with a few accessories. Some are more useful than others. You get this long pole that's telescopic, extends to 1.5 metres. It's a bit too long for the case that I use to carry my camera in, so I think I'm just going to stick to the old GoPro one. You get 3 batteries, which is very useful, and the battery life is supposed to be 4 hours per camera, which is really excellent. So with 3 batteries, you shouldn't have a problem going out shooting all day. And this is a little case you get to store and charge the batteries. And I believe that when you're charging, the batteries charge sequentially. So it will look to see which battery has got most charge and then charge that first. When it's charged, then do the next most charged batteries. And you can also use it as a power bank. So there's a USB-C port which you use to charge it with. But once the batteries are charged and you take it out, you can then use this to charge other devices. Like for instance, the microphone, which I'll talk about in a minute. If that gets low on power, just plug it in and that will be charged. So I definitely thought that the Adventure Combo was very good value just compared to buying the camera by itself. I also bought the DJI Mic 2 at the same time as buying the camera, and this is a really nice little device as well. With the GoPro, I started off using wired microphones, but they're never very convenient. Then I bought this Boya wireless microphone, and there's a few problems with it. Firstly, there's a receiver and transmitter, so you've got to attach the receiver to the camera all the time, which is not very convenient. And it didn't always pair. So I'd turn the camera on, turn the microphones on, and they wouldn't connect. And it was sometimes a real job making them connect. And when they did connect, and I'd look at the video, I would sometimes find that the sound would just drop out. You know, even if it was just for a second or a couple of seconds, that ruined the soundtrack. So far, using this DJI Mic 2, I've had no such problems. And one really nice thing when using it with the Osmo, the Pocket 3 or the Action 4 or 5, you don't need a receiver. That's built into the camera. So this is all you need. And the camera will actually work with 2 microphones. So if you're doing videos with, interviewing people, you've got 2 people speaking, you can have 2 of these microphones. There's been no dropouts so far. The audio is very, very clear, and there hasn't been any problem with pairing. I just turn the camera on, turn the microphone on, and immediately I see a message on the camera that the microphone is connected, and it gives me a bar to show how much volume there is. So this is a really nice feature as well. And as far as I know, GoPro don't offer anything like this. So my first impressions are very positive, especially after the experience of owning this GoPro Hero 9, which has been a disaster ever since day one. But if problems develop with the DJI later, I'll be honest and I'll report them. I hope not, and I'm just looking forward to using the camera a lot more.